the Enlightened Humanity Circle Spiritual Rave, where you have the opportunity to access some incredible information and resources right there in front of your computer. My name is Bonnie Sachs, and I'm here with Lily Winsaft. Hi, Lily.
Everybody. Hi, it's such a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited about this conversation we're about to have.
So together, Lily and I created the 8th Chakra Company, and we're all about each one of us stepping into our own information and mastering what it is to be human. Today, we have Kimberley Lovell all the way from England here to join us, and she's going to be talking to us about hidden money issues that block us from getting what we want in life. So welcome, Kimberley.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me here. Really excited to share about the money blocks.
I am really excited about you being here for this conversation because money is definitely an issue for a lot of people, and I could certainly learn a ton of stuff. So we are very excited to have you here. So before we get into those details, I'm curious if you can tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got to where you now teach people about money.
Okay, I'll give you the short story.
Okay.
So about 30 years ago, I had a tragic suicide in my family, which put me very quickly onto my spiritual pathway. I found out I was a medium and a healer, began working in spiritual churches. So it's been a 30-year journey. Working with spirit, working with people in that healing capacity, and looking at how we can create more joy in our lives, and learning various healing modalities and then going on to teach them. And then what I found was that, you know, in my experience in setting up a business, I struggle because I have money blocks. You know, there's just such a big split in the collective unconscious between money and spirituality. And I saw a lot of healers and therapists and coaches struggling with their business, and I'm all about really helping people. Well, I'm really all about bringing heaven to earth, all right, and I can't do that on my own, so it's about supporting the healers and the therapists who I was teaching and working with to move through their money blocks so that they could actually get their gifts out in the world and they could live their soul's purpose. You know, there's so many people there that are wanting to connect with their soul and with their joy and their purpose and their passion in life. So it was like money is sometimes an obstacle to that, you know. So how can we move beyond there? So yeah, it's been a lifelong journey looking at how we create our reality and how important our unconscious mind is and how we can actually transform our beliefs so that we can actually create more consciously what we do want rather than what we don't want.
Gotcha. So
Yes.
was there like one particular thing that stands out in your mind that made you put the piece together, like the final switch for getting the money piece, or was it just a bunch of things that sort of all came together at one point?
Yeah. Well, there's been kind of like different journeys and stories I've had with money, and I think really the kind of thing that made me realize what was going on was when, and I'm sure a lot of people will relate to this, that idea of, you know, I'd had some jobs, I had my spiritual work, I had my practice, and then you know, at some point I was thinking, well, maybe I need to get a job again, right? Because I wasn't making enough money I wasn't making enough money, and it was either kind of like, well, either you need to get more clients, you need to make more money and get yourself out there more, or you need to go and get a job, right? And I hear this all the time. So that was kind of when I realized, actually, you know, I began to look and see a lot of the spiritual beliefs I had that were saying, you know, you can't be spiritual and have money, and that you're supposed to do this all for free. I spent a lot of years giving away a lot of my gifts and just really struggling in that, you know. And I was like, that's not what spirit wants. That's not what we're here to do, because that's not helping us to help other people and create the change we want to create in the world. So I realized that was a really important piece then. Yeah.
I really love that. And it's absolutely true. It's something that healers have a big issue with. Like, it's not a spiritual thing if you charge money for it. So it is a really useful thing for people who are interested in healing. But of course, money issues exist everywhere. You don't have to be a healer. You can just be somebody who's looking for a new job because they're not making enough money. You help other people like that as well, right?
Sure. For me, it's about, the bigger vision is creating heaven on earth, which means that, if everybody is happy and fulfilled, then we don't have all these wars and stuff going crazy stuff going on in the world, right? Imagine that we, wake up, we're happy, we go to work, whatever our work is, we're doing what we love and we're fulfilled.
Right.
Yeah. So,
right.
I think so much of the challenges and issues that we have in society today, and health issues, relationship issues, it's about kind of like not being as connected with our soul and being true to ourselves. So we kind of end up doing what we think we have to do in order to have what we want, so we kind of lose ourselves.
Right. So let's jump right in here. I'm really curious to get this piece about hidden money issues that block our desires.
Yes. So just realized it's kind of like the shadow. It's a bit that we're not aware of. And on a conscious level, imagine your mind is like an iceberg, and so the tip of the iceberg is the 5%. That's the conscious mind, right? If I can move a bit more into the light.
Yeah.
And then the part that is the unconscious is 95%. And so on a conscious level, we're wanting to be happy, to be healthy, to do what we want to do and be joyful. And we want to create abundance, and we believe consciously in this. And on the unconscious level, we've got all kinds of things going on, from the ancestral level. We've got stuff going on from past lives. And, we really have this conflict. And so consciously we're doing one thing, and on the unconscious level, we're creating something entirely different. So we're sabotaging ourselves. And when we can find the beliefs on the unconscious level and the emotions, the feelings, the things that we've been holding on to in the unconscious, that are really the more powerful energies that we are actually creating our lives with, whether it's relationships or work or health or whatever, then we can actually begin to change and create more consciously what we want and have the happiness and the success that we want. Yeah.
So how do you actually find those, and can we find those ourselves? Because, we're really talking about how people can access their own information. So is that something that we can find ourselves?
Yes. Yeah. It's really, I'm just going to see if I can get this any better with the sun. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, a really good way to do, and I'm sure that you guys, you kind of healers, and you work in this way. So for people that don't know how to muscle test, muscle testing is a really great tool to be able to check your beliefs. And so 2 hands, 2 fingers and thumbs, put them together, and this is a yes where you pull. We're using applied kinesiology. Your muscles lock when it's a yes for a strong response, and when it's a no, they come apart.
Right.
So my name's Kimberley, my name's Tracy. Yeah. So you can play with this tool. It's a really powerful tool for all kinds of things, but it's really great for looking at what's going on in the unconscious, because your body doesn't lie. So I love to empower by people to be able to do this for themselves and to actually look and see what the body's saying, what the unconscious is saying. And it's often, such a surprise and a revelation. When we think we have a certain belief and we're doing all these things, to do whatever it is, lose weight, find the love of our life, or make more money, or live our purpose, whatever it is, I only find that, it's not safe to. It's not safe to live our purpose. It's not safe for us to have money. It's not safe to be in love, So, yeah. And so the more that we can find these beliefs and then change them and look at kind of what's going on these different levels, transform those beliefs. So that's kind of what I love doing with people, like really helping them to, for many years I worked with hypnotherapy. I was a hypnotherapy trainer. So really the tools that I use now are much more rapid, so that we can just pull the negative beliefs, replace them with positive beliefs and feelings, and transform on a cellular level so that we feel differently and we know how to create what it is that we're wanting, and it feels like it's safe to do that. It's possible for us to do that, and then we actually do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that piece about safety, because that's definitely something that shows up many, many times for people, is that, you know, something is going to happen to us if we have money. You know, the other piece is that if we have money, somebody will take it away, you know, which is just kind of another version of safety. So that's really awesome. Is there any other ways that money shows up for people besides safety?
We have, this is to do with money, but you know, I would say that everything is connected. So how we do money is how we do everything. You know, that's our relationship with money and our relationship with ourselves, with love, with our bodies, with food, with whatever you want to talk about. It's all connected. And so often there's this lack thing going on. Even people that have, you know, millions, you know, you'll still find people that have plenty of money, and yet it's never enough, and there's a fear that it's going to run out, you know, or that they have nothing, or they have to work really hard for it, you know. So we have all kinds of crazy beliefs, and we can be working really hard in order to prove our worth. We can be working really hard in order to receive love, or you know, we can have beliefs that we have to suffer, which is like a little bit the equivalent of hard work and earning money that way. But what if we could earn, you know, our money through doing what we love? Yeah. And what if it could be fun and it could be joyful, and it was just, you know, like it wasn't work. Like for me, my work's not work. It's like play, you know. Yeah, there's some bits of it, you know, like, you know, when we're marketing, that kind of thing is not I don't love that. I mostly outsource it. But, you know, the actual love, I love working with people, and I love sharing and empowering people. So it feels like it's fun, you know. And so, yeah, it's looking at our patterns and the things that we want, and taking responsibility for what we are creating, and discovering, you know, like what is going on, how is it we want this, but we're creating the opposite, you know. So sometimes people have a fear about money because, you know, maybe in a past life they've been killed for money, or, you know, there's all kinds of crazy stories that come up. And we've also got experiences, you know, from this life, you know, we've got enough programming from this life really, but, you know, it comes up on all these levels, and it's what we've seen from our parents, from, you know, the collective unconscious beliefs that are going on in the world, you know. And yeah, there's just there's too many too many to mention.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, I have a question I would love to ask you, Kimberley. I know that there's a lot of different modalities and tools that you use, and, you know, from hypnotherapy, theta healing, and you're a medium, and so you're able to kind of see beyond what's physically evident for someone. But utilizing that counseling background and the therapy background, I'm sure there's a lot of, and there's more modalities that I'm not mentioning, but something I would love for you to share is, as a career coach, I often come across people who are having a hard time making that transition into doing what they love to do versus what they have to do in order to make the money and make a living. So of all the tools that you've used, which one would you say is the one that people could have more access to in order for them to do their own work independently and be able to make that kind of transition into doing what they love?
So I have to say it would be theta healing, because, you know, it's a tool that once you can connect with your higher self, you can connect with your unconscious, you can connect with your ancestors, you know, you can connect with your past lives, you can understand, and you can start creating the change. And the muscle testing itself is powerful to find the beliefs and to be able to change them. So, you know, just that awareness and having those tools like at the end of our fingertips to be able to test and say, okay, so here's what's going on, and here's why I'm struggling with this, right? And to be able to then change that. Like, beliefs can be changed in, you know, 30 seconds or, you know, a minute. You know, sometimes it takes you longer to find the belief and so forth, you know, but we want to find the bottom belief. So we've got thousands of beliefs, you know, like, you know, like maybe I want more money, or we need more money, or you know, wish I could find my soulmate, or wish I knew what my purpose was, and you know, could find my ideal job. Those aren't bottom beliefs. So we've got beliefs that are layered one on top of the other, and we want to find the bottom belief, which might be something like, you know, I'm not worthy, I'm alone, I'm unloved, I'm abandoned, you know, I'm a victim, all kinds of crazy ideas that go on. And it's finding those. And once we find those, then all the other beliefs kind of fall down and crumble. Yeah. And we can come back to who we truly are, which is infinite beings and unlimited potential, you know. So that's, you know, my favourite, quickest way. I've done many different modalities, learnt them, taught them, always looking for the quickest way that helped people, you know, on a permanent basis. So I didn't want like just a quick fix. We can put a band-aid on it and then it pops up again later, you know. That sometimes happens. And so yeah, this is kind of like a modality that I found, you know, really helpful, and that gives people the ability to do it for themselves as well.
Okay. So Bonnie and I are very familiar with theta healing, but I'm sure that many of our audience have never heard of it. So could you say a little bit about how theta healing works as a modality?
Yeah, so it's a combination of energy healing, using your intuition. So as a practitioner, we use our intuition to remote scan a person's body, their energy field, to see what's going on. And then we connect with the universe, God, source, creator, whatever you want to call that energy, and work with our intuition to identify the beliefs that are being held. So I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient. I've always heard people's beliefs. You know, so that they'll be telling me one thing that's going on for them they want to change, and I'll be like, okay, so this is what's really going on around that, you know. And like, so what happened when you were 6 years old, or how is your relationship with your dad? And we'll go straight into the crux of the situation and where it's come from. So as a person doing it on yourself, you would learn how to go up into a theta brainwave, which is a natural brainwave. And it's a very simple process, and it's a little meditation that you can go up, you can connect with the universe, with source, with everything that is, and you can connect to them with your conscious and your unconscious mind, so that you have more insight and awareness of who you truly are, and the kind of conflicting beliefs. You know, you'll have this awareness of being the infinite being and connected with everything, and then the small human part of us, right, that's got, you know, these limited beliefs and the beliefs from our ancestors and, you know, various experiences from our past life. So yeah, it's just so empowering to be able to make these connections and to, you know, get more insight and awareness, and to be able to then make the changes.
That's beautiful. One last thing about theta. How long does it take for someone to learn how to do that?
Oh, okay. So, well, that's an interesting question. Yeah, so but there are, you know, there's books on theta healing, so you can learn theta healing that way, or you can take training courses. You know, there's basic and advanced training courses. There's lots of courses, so you can kind of go as deeply into it as you want to. We have courses on, you know, manifesting abundance, where we're looking at over 100 money beliefs. We've got courses. I'm just in the middle of teaching at the moment intuitive anatomy, which is like the medical intuitive side of things. They're really focusing on health issues. But yeah, I mean, you can pick up the tools really quickly, and the basic training, which is a practitioner training as well, so those that want to use it in that way. Lots of people just do it for their own personal growth, and that's a 3-day training. So people can get, you know, once they've got their hands on you guys know this, once they've got their hands on those tools and they've kind of realised what's going on, they can find beliefs, and they can help other people pull beliefs, you know, very, very quickly. Yeah.
I really like that. So I want to turn it back to a little bit more towards money, because I still have money. Yeah. We could play some music in the background, right, to really carry the theme through. But you know, you had mentioned some of the things that money can teach us, and I love that idea that every experience that we have is actually there for a teaching. And so I'd love to know some more about that, things that money can teach us.
Okay, so let me turn it around a little bit, because it's going to be different for every person. So let me ask you, you know, what is money to you? Yeah.
So for me, money is just an energetic exchange. Lily?
I would agree with that. It's a way that we can manage certain structures and constructs of our society, of our culture. So to exchange services, to exchange products, etc. But it is, to me, it's all energetic.
Yeah, because it's like, sure, we have coins and we have paper notes, don't we? And then there's a lot of money that we actually don't even touch, right? It just changes bank accounts and the numbers change. So it's kind of like not even really tangible. And I think a lot of it doesn't really exist. I haven't quite figured out all of that bit, but it's kind of like this whole thing that we've created in order to be able to exchange services and goods. So yeah, it is just an energy. It's a form of exchange. But if we were to ask you to kind of like, really let it go and write down, like 50 things. What is money to you? How does money make you feel? You would come up with lots of things. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like money is it's so much more fun to have than it is to not have, and the things that it can buy us and the arguments that we can have over it. Because at the moment I'm sort of in, thinking of my husband, that we have very different opinions about what money is, which is, happens probably in a lot of marriages, right? So yeah, it certainly can do a lot of things with money.
Yeah, and then our health is impacted by, through the money, or not through the money, but through the stress that we have around money and the conflict we have around money. So, and relationships are impacted around it. So, it's pretty much a central thing in that, we need money. That's how we kind of live, right? We pay our bills and our rent and our mortgages, and we buy our shopping. You can't go, and I used to think back, as a therapist, if I could go to the bank manager and ask him if he wants an Indian head massage, right? But it doesn't work like that. So yeah, we have all these beliefs going on around money, and the idea is that we change them. And as well as having these beliefs, which we picked up from parents and all various different places, we've also got vows that we make, okay? This is where it gets really juicy, right?
Yeah.
And some people believe in past lives, some people don't. That's cool. There's lots of different theories around that. We won't get into that right now. But, think of it as just a story, all right? Because if a story is coming up, then there's something in it for us. And so sometimes what happens is we have these vows that we've made where we take a vow of poverty, all right? So if you're watching this or you're listening to this, you might want to muscle test, all right? Like that. I've taken a vow of poverty. So I'll do it. So I've taken a vow of poverty. I haven't. I did. But I've cleared them.
I haven't.
You've got one. Oh, boo. Need to get that as a priority cleared, right? So, and then often, even people who feel like they've got quite a healthy relationship with money, it's like there's this upper limit, okay? So I work with a lot of people, in business that are, they're putting their work out, then they're making a certain amount of money, but it's like they get stuck at a level, and it's all about how much we allow ourselves to receive, but it's also about how much we love ourselves, right? This is what, so for me, yes, money is energy, but money is also to me, it's like love, right? So the biggest thing that I think money can teach us is about love. All of these conflicts and things that are going on in the world, it's not just in relationships and marriages that we kind of argue around money, right? There's corporations arguing around money, there's countries arguing around money, there's all this kind of world debt. What happened? Right? Where did we get out of balance with this? And it's really all about coming back to love. And so if money was love, then how much do you love yourself? How much will you allow yourself to have?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to spend money? Do you have to save it? Do you have to hold on to it? Does it burn burn a hole in your pocket, right? Is it your friend?
Wow.
Or your enemy?
There's a lot of questions there.
Yeah. But this is how you find your beliefs, by asking these kind of questions and looking at how you think about it and how you feel about it and, how you behave around it and with it. And as I said, you can switch it around, so we could be talking about love. And it's really interesting to actually do that, So if it was love, how much time do you spend with it? I never used to pay attention to money. I was really bad with my taxes and that kind of thing. And sometimes I went through periods where I didn't look at my bank accounts, because they weren't that great. So I didn't want to deal with that stuff, what it brought up for me. So I kind of wouldn't pay attention. And then, it kind of changed. I changed beliefs and I kind of fix that bit. But then I noticed there was other stuff going on, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's just paying attention and being aware and looking, so what is it, and what are these beliefs? And you know, if you had a great relationship with money, or love, or whatever you want to exchange it for, really change it for, you know, your thing, like your work. If you loved your work, if you loved your money and you loved your life, what would be different? What would you be doing? Well, you wouldn't be worrying about it. You wouldn't be kind of freaking out when the bills come, because you'd know that there was enough, there was plenty. You know that you can, you know, go and put more energy out there because it's an exchange. Whatever you put out, then you're going to receive back. So it's just really looking and being more conscious. So I think that, you know, money is such a big issue in the world, and the lack of money is a big issue. And, you know, there's actually plenty of resources to go around in the world. It's about how you distribute them. Yeah.
So Kimberley, for our audience, what I'm sure there are many people that are experiencing transitions. Number one tip, what would be that golden nugget that people, the most important thing people could do today to?
There's a few things that you can do. So one would be, you know, explore what beliefs you've got going on and play around with that and see, you know, what's the belief that you'd want to have. It's probably the thing that you consciously say, you know, I'm abundant. You know, we do affirmations, I'm abundant, I'm rich, I'm this and that. And your unconscious goes, yeah, not really. So, you know, you have to clear the negative beliefs to get to the positive beliefs so that they're true for you. So that's what we do with theta. You can, you know, here's the thing, we're always going to have unconscious beliefs, and you can still move through them. It doesn't have to hold you back, right? You also need to take action. So, you know, if you're somebody who doesn't save, for example, then start saving, even if it's a very small amount. So it's really practical things that you can do, you know, like even if it was like, I don't know, £5 a week or $5 a week. Actually, it's that habit of actually putting something aside, yeah? So looking at the behaviours and just starting to make small shifts and how you feel around it, you know? Take some money, like we usually have an amount that we carry in our purse, yeah? Maybe up that and carry more money so that you feel, you know, more wealthy, yeah? Maybe you use cash only rather than your debit cards, because then we kind of like not really getting our hands on it, yeah? Because it's like it's not real, you know, you just put your card in, take your card out. Actually, when you've got cash and you can see what you've got and where it's going, and everything's so automated these days, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great point that you make, that it doesn't often seem real. We don't have a real relationship with money. We have a relationship with our card. Yeah. And the other thing, which is really, this is such an amazing thing to do, will really create shifts very quickly, is to declutter. So ladies who've got handbags, who've got clutter in their handbag, you know, like receipts and bits and pieces, declutter your handbag or your wallet, right? And create space for the money. Yeah, so get rid of the old receipts and, you know, file them away or put them in little plastic pockets, whatever you do with them. Look after money. If you look after money, money will look after you, right? It's like having a partner. You know, if you're going to ignore him or her, then, you know, they're not going to be too happy, right? They don't want to be around you. If you're going to be miserable and grouchy or, you know, disrespect them. And it's the same with money, yeah?
I really love that. That's one thing that I do as an example to move the energy, is that I'll clear out my closet, because I really don't like to shop, but I'll clear out my closet and I'll get rid of clothes that I haven't worn, or even if I haven't worn it in 2 months, it goes. And then that opens up the space for a new wardrobe to come. And so it's the same kind of principle that you're talking about, uncluttering your purse and uncluttering your space has a tremendous amount of value to moving energy and moving the frequencies around you. I love that. That is absolutely something that we all can go out and do that today. We can go out, we can declutter our car, we can declutter our closet, declutter our purse, and really make space for the energy. Yes, for the energy of abundance and receiving what the universe has to give to us. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe that you get rid of something if you haven't worn it for 2 months. I'm gonna have to have a look at it. I have got a bit of a wardrobe clutter thing going on. My purse thing's good now, but not my wardrobe.
Well, we are running out of time. I think we could probably talk for hours about belief systems and some of the limiting ideas that we have or constructs that we have around money in our life. And certainly, Kimberley, it's been such a pleasure to have you join us. We, you're teaching us about how to unclutter our energy space, how to shift belief systems, how to bring in love, how to bring in abundance, and everything that you do is amazing for humanity. We so much thank you for joining us here today.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
So make sure.
I was just going to say, I've got a free gift because we just have a limited amount of time, don't we? And I've got a free gift, which is the Sacred Money Archetype Quiz, which is a really good way, without needing to kind of like know all the technical stuff to find your beliefs, but to do a little quiz and find out what is going on for you on the unconscious level around money. And it absolutely transforms, your life and your relationship with not just money, but all areas of your life.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I was just going to say, make sure that you get on Kimberley's website and look at all the different things that she's offering, and that's a beautiful gift, Kimberley. I was also looking at your website. You have some amazing testimonials on there. Your clients absolutely adore you, and it looks like you have made a huge difference in a lot of people's lives. So thank you for being with us today and sharing all your wisdom.
Thank you so much. And for the work that you're doing as well.
Thank you. And so to all our listeners, Bonnie and I want to thank you so much for joining us today for an episode of the Enlightened Humanity Circle Spiritual Rave. You are learning here with us how to access your information so that you can master what it is to be human by knowing and connecting with your own innate wisdom. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again. We have some amazing speakers lined up, so we look forward to it. Have a great afternoon. Bye.
Bye.